What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at a comparison between the MMC Fraudo and the Unique Toys Ghaz'ranka, both versions of Swindle. Now the Unique Toys one came out quite a while ago. Let's see if there's actually a date on here. 2017, so that's a little bit older. This one was 2019, end of 2019, so about 2 years apart, and they are different. This one is a all-in-one built in, so the combined mode foot is part of the figure, whereas this one came with a separate foot. For some bizarre reason, I got rid of the feet and the hands from this set, so I don't have those to show. But we're going to show all of the modes, and we're going to show and compare the two, and we'll give a final score. Now again, this is my personal opinion, so take this with a grain of salt. If you have one or the other and you prefer that and you're happy with it, then you win. That's really it for the boxes. Let's get the figures out and take a look at how good they are. We're going to start off with accessories for Fraudo and Ghaz'ranka, and you can see they pretty much have the same stuff. So they've both got the larger cannon, they both got this rocket type gun or cannon, and then they both got the mounting bracket, and all of this stuff can be mounted in various points on the figure. You can choose different ways to display it. The only difference really is the MMC version comes with an extra head with that smiling face. The Unique Toys does not come with an extra head or face. The other thing is this one does come with its separate foot. Now I, for some reason, sold that foot. Don't ask me why, but I got rid of all of the extra limbs. So that is another thing that's in that box. That's why that box is so big. But the MMC version has the foot built in, so it's not anything extra. They both come with the combined mode foot. It's just this one is built in. So in terms of accessories, the only difference is this extra head for MMC. So based on that, I would give accessories to the MMC. And normally when it comes to Sculpt, I always say that it's very subjective and it's eye beholder, but when we look at the G1 cartoon, let's put that up over here, I think it's pretty obvious that the MMC is much closer, at least in colors, just colors alone, the MMC nails the colors. Unique Toys took a different approach. They wanted to make something a little bit more mature, something between the G1 cartoon and an adult version of the toy, where it's got some, liberties taken and a little bit more, smoothness to it. But if you're looking for something that looks like the G1 toy, the MMC definitely nails that. Let's take a quick 360 of the figures. And even on the other sides, I feel the MMC has nailed the cartoon aesthetic. It's got that chunky look to it, which at first I was kind of turned off by the chunky look, but seeing the cartoon again and seeing the image, it definitely makes me think they nailed the cartoon aesthetic. Now, so in my personal opinion, I think the Sculpt for the MMC Fraudo wins. So now we're going to talk about transformation and engineering. So transformation, I'm not going to go through the transformation, and they're very different. So this Unique Toys one kind of sticks to, kind of doesn't really try to hide anything away. It just sort of folds. So the legs are basically the back of the truck folded up, back of the Jeep folded up, and then the arms are the front, and then the middle is the actual hood. Whereas on Fraudo, you've got everything gets kind of compacted into his chest, his wheels. A lot of the stuff, the whole front of the Jeep gets folded away. On the Unique Toys, it does get folded inside of this chest, but a lot more of it does get folded away. Now, I will say that this wheel, or the steering wheel that's on the front, that is kind of ugly, does stand out. But in terms of engineering and design and the way this transforms and just the feel and the quality as you're transforming it, it's really impressive how good this feels. and in going to all three modes. The Unique toys, in terms of their transformation, it's kind of soft. The plastic is soft, so things feel a little mushy as you're transforming it, and it does eventually, you know, get clicked together, and it feels like a solid thing once you get it into the mode that you're going to. It's just getting there, you know, it feels a little bit soft. So there we go, transformations for MMC. So let's talk paint really quick. There isn't really much paint on the Unique toy, so you've got some here on the legs, a couple accents, maybe the wheel. It's hard to tell, but maybe these black parts here, but not much paint at all, maybe on the face as well. So not much paint if I'm looking at the MMC. Also not much paint. I think this part here and then a couple details here. So both of them are kind of pretty light on the paint. And most of this looks like colored plastic. Now the chest, I believe, may actually have paint on it right here. So that's about the biggest area that's painted. And then his face as well. I believe the whole face, including the eyes, are painted. So wheel wells may also be painted, but that's really it. There's not a lot of paint on these guys. They're pretty simple in terms of the deco. So I'm not going to give either of them the win there. They're just pretty close, and there isn't really anything setting them apart from each other. So I'm going to call it a tie for paint. So now let's talk about articulation, and I'm going to start with Unique toys, and then I'll show you what's different over here. So his head is on a rotating swivel, so you get all the way around, up and down a lot, and up quite a bit as well. You have the shoulder on a rotating joint there. You can get out to there, although it's hindered by this piece here. It doesn't go down all the way, you know, and that seems like an issue with the actual ratchet joint. It doesn't always stay. You do have a double jointed elbow that gets you all the way up to there. It's a little bit hindered by this. You do have a waist swivel. No ab crunch, but plenty of swivel there. You can move this up. This is sort of the hip skirt. That allows you to get the leg up. That leg is on a ratchet joint. Pretty small, nice ratchet joint. Goes all the way back to there. Goes all the way up to here. Single jointed knee with a ratchet gets you up to there. Nice tight ratchet. These feet are a little funky, so you do get a really nice ankle tilt all the way up to there. And you do get a toe tilt or a ankle pivot, but it's on this ratchet, and the next detent is all the way here. So you can't really use it, unfortunately. That's really for transformation. It doesn't allow you to, and what that causes is you've got to sort of give him a crotch thrust, because if you don't, you end up kind of leaning forward because of this, and you can't really get him back. So if you've got him on a dynamic pose, you can't get his foot flat on the ground. So there's his articulation. Now, what does Fraudo have above him? Not too much. So the head, you do get the side-to-side waggle. You get a little bit more on the elbow, double jointed. They're both double jointed, but you get a little bit more on this one. No ab crunch, the same swivel. You do have a hip skirt here, although some would argue that the hip skirt is actually uglier than this one, but they're about the same for me. Same articulation on the leg, goes all the way up, all the way out. Same 90-degree bend. But here's where things are different. You've got a much nicer ankle tilt and ankle pivot. And in the combined mode, which we'll get to in a minute, you've got that same ankle tilt and ankle pivot. So a slightly better articulation from the MMC with the head and with the feet. So we'll give articulation to MMC. And let's take a look at the G1 cartoon here. I think we're going to see that the MMC version is definitely more cartoon accurate. And it really depends what you're looking for. So this Jeep feels a little bit more like a realistic Jeep, the Unique toys, in terms of just the details and the colors and stuff. But it's not cartoon accurate. and it's also a little bit big, so it's a little bit wider. It's also taller. So it was already out of scale even at this size. Now you've got an even bigger Jeep that's out of scale. I mean, the seats are huge. Probably will fit the new spike in here pretty easily. But in terms of scale, this Unique Toys one is way off. But as far as features, it does have the same thing. It's got the wheel on the back that's removable. It's all rubber tires, just like the MMC. It's got this, which does articulate up and down and also rotates, same as this one. You don't really have an opening hood or anything like that. Everything is the same. You do have seats here, which end up becoming the legs, but they look like leather seats, which is kind of cool. And it feels a little bit like leather too. So that's a nice little touch. It does have a shift knob and a steering wheel, and the steering wheel does move and rotate. So does this one. This one moves up and down. I don't think it rotates, but it does move up and down, and you can angle it for the driver. So pretty much all the same accessories, but a very different look. And again, this is subjective, but I would say that this alt mode is much more accurate to the G1 cartoon. Doesn't mean that this one's a bad alt mode, it's just this one's more accurate. Here's the Unique Toys limb mode, and I'm missing the foot. I don't have the foot handy, so this does basically the foot attaches right in here. You open this up, you put the foot in, you close it up, and it sits like that. And it's a pretty big foot, but so they're almost probably the same height in combined foot mode. So I'd imagine the full combiner is probably very close in size to the Unique Toys combiner. So all in all, very good looking limb mode. You know, if I can get a G1 cartoon image, I'll put it up there. And again, because of the color and the look of this is going to match a lot closer with the G1 cartoon than what this did. Now, unfortunately, I'm missing the foot. This had a gray, basically silver foot, and the cartoon had the yellow foot. So that's going to be a lot closer to the cartoon. And the final factor here is going to be cost. So I'm going off of MSRP, even though if you got a deal, I actually got a pretty good deal on this from Baba Bobo, but retail MSRP was $90 on this. Retail MSRP is $100 on this. So the Unique Toys wins on the price. Now, you could argue these came out in different years. This is a much older figure. You know, I think it's 2 years older. And also the amount of engineering and plastic on this guy is much more just because it's all-in-one transformation. But that doesn't take it away from the fact that it's more expensive. So we're going to give price to Unique Toys. So final thoughts-wise on this comparison, you can see the score it comes out to. And in my Hound comparison against the Fans Toys, I said the score doesn't tell it all. In this particular case, I think the score does say it all. It's pretty obvious to me, at least in my opinion, the MMC is a better figure overall in terms of these categories I've laid out here. And some people might prefer the look of this, but for me, this is the better figure. Now, you do pay a little bit more. It's not a crazy amount more, $10 more at MSRP. But also depends what you want for your combined mode, which we haven't shown. We haven't gotten the whole combined mode on this guy yet. So we don't know yet how the fully combined mode for the MMC really going to hold up. We've seen prototypes. We've seen it at TFCon. We've seen it. Pake's shown it off. But I can't really say until I actually have it, own it, and hold it, and see how it compares to these guys. So that's really it for this comparison. Thanks for watching. If you own one or the other and you're happy with it, then you win. I'm glad that you have what you like. I just like to give my opinion on these comparisons. Obviously, buy what makes you happy and buy what you like. But that's really it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.